Yo, what is up YouTube? It's your boy Kami here back with another video. Today we have the Finalmouse Sakura. This is the pink Finalmouse, and you might be asking, why is this Finalmouse so important? What makes this Finalmouse so different than the other ones? Is it just a pink mouse? No, it goes much deeper than that, and we're going to dive straight into why. We're going to look at the QC, why it's important, and we're going to analyze the color as well. And we're also going to look at my copy and whether or not there are any QC issues that I've noticed, or maybe that you guys can notice on this copy, because I know that is a very prevalent problem about it. I'll also talk about staining as well. That is still a concern I hear some people may have. But yeah, so first off, I'm going to show off the mouse on camera, and a lot of footage you guys have seen of people online posting this mouse. It kind of comes off as like a salmon pink, like a sushi kind of pink, but in person it's kind of darker than that. It doesn't look as bright as it is on camera. In reality, I see more of a darker pink. So, you know, it's kind of like the Tifu mouse, where it just looks a lot brighter on camera, but in person it is darker. On the side you also have some Japanese kanji that I believe says Sakura, and some calligraphy, whatever people call that, that also I think translates into Sakura if I'm not mistaken. In the box, for people that are curious, very basic box, doesn't have any graphic on it, kind of similar to the Asu line with just the text. This one has kanji on it, and it is also a pink box. On camera it looks brighter, but it is pink. Now, why is this mouse so important? And I'm also going to, well, actually, let me go through the specs for people that don't know what the ULX is. It is a mouse that ranges from 33 grams to 39 grams. If you have the Scream edition, Scream colorway, which is the red one, it might actually weigh more because of the painting on that colorway specifically. But for the most part, 33 grams starting from the smallest sized up to 39 grams for the larger sizes. It has Huano blue shells and a gold dust proof encoder, and it can go up to 8K hertz polling, true 8K hertz polling with web-based software. So overall, on spec, or on a piece of paper, this is a very impressive mouse, and it's very good. The reason why a lot of people are very conscious of when they buy this mouse is because there is a lot of different information you guys have seen online. Now, I'm somebody who has purchased every single colorway of this mouse, so I keep myself very updated with this specific mouse. I've always loved the ULX, but by no means do I discredit the critiques people have, and I just purely glaze. I do acknowledge all the critiques, and I myself critique the company quite a bit. So the reason why this mouse is so important, and the reason why I went on that entire monologue just now, is because this is the very first Finalmouse produced in their Vietnamese factory. So for further context on what I'm talking about, is Finalmouse has always been produced in China, and a lot of the problems people had and a lot of the coding issues that they had, they attributed it to first off, of them having to get the batches right, and also the coding issues because of supposed sabotage, as they would say. When I spoke to Final Boy, he mentioned that there were like coding providers that gave them fake data and a whole bunch of stuff. So them having their own rights to their own manufacturing, like, logically makes it so that now they'll probably produce better mice, and they've been producing this mouse for quite a while. And this is very important because this specific colorway that I don't see nobody talk about is a true testament on whether or not they've truly improved their quality, and whether or not they've really upped it with their own factory. Because if that is the case, the ULX will become a very reliable mouse. Now, me personally, from my own experience, my ULXs have always had good quality besides my very first ULX. I consider myself a lucky individual, because I know there's many people online that have had problems. Besides staining, I've never had any problems with my ULX, and I've made reviews on every single ULX. You can go and watch them. But I have noticed one thing with this specific copy. Now, I don't know if it's my eyes going crazy or the colorway specifically that leads me to see this flaw. I don't know if it is a flaw. Maybe I'm crazy, but I believe my M1 and M2 have a gap. Nothing game breaking, but I think the gap is bigger than usual. Maybe it's because it's just the pink. But I'm pretty sure my other ULXs had a more closed in M1 and M2. But besides that, I have no creaking. Unless if I go to the very front of the mouse and squeeze very hard, there'd be a little bit creaking that you feel, but nothing in in-game usage. If I squeeze the sides, no creaking, back, no creaking. And overall, it feels great. I played on it quite a bit. So as a testament of their new factory, I think the quality on this mouse is very good. It feels very solid. on the sides, on the back. The clicks are perfect. Implementation's great. No problems with the scroll wheel whatsoever, and no staining. Staining has been resolved for quite a while, but some people are still very conscious of that, and I understand that because a lot of people also purchase these mice for the aesthetic, with the variety of colorways, with the look, with the premium branding. I understand why a lot of people buy it for the aesthetic. And also they kind of cater to a lot of different people. This mouse, surprisingly to me, a lot of you guys do not know, actually sold out in 15 minutes. And you might be saying, oh, 15 minutes? That's a very long time. If you're used to other hypebeast drops like the wall hack drops or older Finalmouse drops. But in reality, if you look at the last few ULX colorways, specifically one of their biggest, most popular ones in terms of collaborations like the Click, Scream, and Tifu, that one took an hour to sell out. This one took 15 minutes to sell out, and it's a pink colorway. So it seems like the pink colorway is quite popular. Even though in chat, when I saw people were like, oh, I don't really care about pink, but it seems a lot of people like the pink Finalmouse. So hey, I hope people are enjoying the pink Finalmouse. I personally think it's a very good looking mouse. Doesn't really go with my setup too well. But yeah, they kind of have a color for everybody. If you are somebody that's interested in the ULX, because I think I've kind of gone over everything, but I will leave you guys with some advice, is avoid the Asu, avoid the Tarek, if you're buying secondhand especially, but always avoid those two because they will stain eventually. I don't really know anybody that hasn't had one that's stained among people I know, and for most people I spoke to online, they usually have a stained one. Unless if you keep it in a glass cabinet all day, then that staining should never even be a problem for you. But they are releasing one more last ULX. This is the second last ULX to be released. So if you're somebody interested, I would say that the Sakura was very good from the Vietnamese factory, so I would expect the very last ULX to also be very good. I'm hearing rumors of it coming out December or maybe the end of November, but they do have to wrap up with their keyboard, which is separate from their mice, but it still like leaves a bad taste in people's mouth when they're releasing other products in the middle of their keyboard assembly, which has been delayed very, very long time. So yeah, overall, I would say I'm impressed with their first batch from the Vietnamese factory. If you're anybody that knows what the Guardian and Lion ULXs were like on release, this is significantly better. But of course, they've been producing, the same model for quite a while, so it should be perfected. And they should know how to make it quite well. But I'm really hoping that the further colorways will be released more often. As I said, there's only one more ULX colorway, but they're also making a new Finalmouse line, which I will make a separate video about. And yeah, it's been your boy Kami. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just please like and subscribe. That's really all I'm asking. And yeah, I had to sacrifice my wooting to even get my hands on this mouse, so I'm now on a very mediocre old Razer keyboard. So I had to do that just to get a Sakura for you guys, and it's been your boy Kami. Hope you guys have a good day.